How y'all doing today? Thank you for coming to my channel. My name is Frank, also known as Latino Wolf. On this video today is an update of what is coming up, what has changed, and situation that has happened with Paul Miller. So stay tuned. This is an update concerning my current situation here. Paul Miller, I'm no longer working with them. They have been doing a few things to the drivers, also to me. When I first started, they told me that their goal is to have me gross $5,000 a week, which that's great, and that's what I budget everything. As if you watch one of my previous videos, that's how I budgeted everything based on that $5,000 gross. I only saw that the second week that I started was over $5,000. I didn't see that since. There was one time I saw a little bit over $4,000, but that was one time as well. All the other times were below. And Paul Miller has this little gimmick. If you go over $4,000, you get 72% of the gross. If you go under $4,000, you get 69% of the gross, which adds up to being more money for them. That's ass backwards. If you don't mind me saying, that's ass backwards. How is it that if I'm grossing less money, which they're the ones who control the loads that we get, how much loads we're getting for the week? They control that, not you as the driver, as the owner operator, because you can't go on the load boards and look on the load boards, but they provide you the loads. So how is it that makes any sense to do to the owner operator? If you only give the driver so much work, so much gross for the week, under 4,000, you're going to take more percentage of it. I went along with it because I was going by their word that they were going to give me $5,000 gross every week. I said, you know what? Okay, fine. As long as you guys keep that promise and you keep that going, then I have no problem with the other. I didn't agree with it even before that, but I didn't, I just took their word for it. I know better now. So they did that all this time that I stayed with them, hoping, because I criticized to them and I told them, listen, I'm not getting the work that that you guys told me. Oh, we're sorry, we'll fix that. We'll make sure of it. So on top of that, they also have this thing now that you're an owner operator, so you're responsible for repairing your own stuff, your own truck. As owner operator, I understand that, but also the company is supposed to be there to help the owner operator to succeed. For example, what was it? I think I had an issue with my truck, and it was a minor issue. It was like maybe $150 or $200 repair. It wasn't much, and I called it in and stuff to have it authorized, so that way I don't have to cough it out of my pocket at that moment. And they go, no, you're the owner operator, you're responsible for your own repairs. I'm like, in the long run, I'm still responsible for the repair, even if you guys approve it, because you take it out of my settlement. So what's the difference? You're paying it up front for me so you can take it out for the next week. So that way it doesn't hurt my pocket now. so that way I could budget myself for next week because of that repair. They didn't care. And then on top of that, there was one week I had a lot of repairs. This was like in the beginning of working with Paul Miller, in the beginning of having Grace. I anticipated that when I got Grace, that in the beginning I probably have a couple of repairs on the truck because I don't know what's wrong with the truck yet. You know, even though when I bought her, I looked her over, but there's only so much you can see. Plus, I'm not familiar with the mechanics of the truck yet. Little by little, I'm in educating myself with the repairing of the truck for myself, so I could do my own repairs. So, which I recommend everyone to do. Once you get your truck, your own truck, as an owner-operator, learn your truck. Learn the parts of the truck. Where's the water evaporator? Where's the air evaporator? The fuel and water separator, stuff like that. All those things. The compressor, the fuel pump, all that stuff. You know, figure out all the parts on your truck, so that way you have an idea, you know, to check it out, review it, see what's wrong with it, if anything's wrong, you know, and maybe even repair it for yourself. Okay, so I think it was $5,000. No, sorry, correction. It was like $2,500 because it also included batteries for the EPU. They replaced the batteries because when unfortunately with Lone Mountain doesn't take any responsibility for the APUs and EPUs. That's upon the buyer. That's probably one little thing I have bad with Lone Mountain, because I'm like, okay, so this is technically a lease to purchase through a dealer, not through a carrier, right? So technically the truck is half yours, half theirs, because you're paying for it to purchase it, but it's still they're still part owner of the truck. How can you not be responsible for a part that is included with the truck? That's my little peeve at the moment, considering it's not major because it doesn't keep the truck from functioning. But, you know, so if you go to purchase a truck from them and it has the APU, chances are you're going to have to maintain it and fix it if it needs repairs after you purchase the truck, because they're not going to take care of it if something's wrong with it on the day you purchase it, because they don't take responsibility for it. And that's a little bit of a peeve for me. That kind of bothered me. But I waited away because, one, to get a truck from them is affordable. I got Grace for $2,500 down and $1,350 a month. I can't beat it. You can't beat that. Well, at this point that I've researched, I haven't found any place that could beat that kind of an offer. So I just, you know, brushed it off and said, you know what, whatever. I'll just save money on the side to make sure that I could keep that EPU system maintained. But of course, with Paul Miller, I wasn't able to save much of anything because they weren't giving me the gross that I needed. And I'm not the only owner-operator or lease driver, because they have a couple of lease operators there that leased some of their trucks, which is mostly Coronados. Oh, please, I would have loved to buy one of those. But anyway, that's besides the story. It was really difficult because I was trying to keep my budget that I told you guys that in my previous videos that I planned. But it's hard when you're grossing $1,800 $2,300, $2,400 when you were planning on getting $3,000 to $3,400 a week. That's what I was budgeting everything on. Minimum. That was my minimum. Because the gross could have been a little bit more, like $3,800. I mean, I'm sorry, net, not gross, net. But they weren't giving me that their gross that they promised. So I stayed there for 5 months, hoping that they'll fix it. BOC told me that I should have got out of there a while ago. I should have gone out when I completed my 1 year, because then by now I would have been making and saving more money. So right now, my conclusion with Paul Miller is: don't trust the company, don't sign on with the company, don't work with the company. Okay, they're doing shiesty things. I had a previous safety director there. His last name is Morris. Good guy. He's cool. He's an ex owner operator from another company. Or previous in his experience and stuff like that, and commercial driver. And he left because he saw what the company was doing and he didn't agree with it. The owner, Paul Jr., hired him to help him better the company. And Morris recommended so many things to make the company better and help the drivers out better. He just ignored every single one of them. So that tells you that Paul Jr. is not interested in running the company better. And he told me that he owed so much money to the federal taxes for the company, and found out that the IRS confronted him. They came to the business and confronted him about the money that he owes the IRS. Luckily, he got a new account with what's that supply chain? Tractor Supplies? I think it's Tractor Supplies, I think it's called. And he got a new contract with them. And supposedly, if I understood it right, they gave him money up front. So he used that money to pay for the IRS. Now, I don't know if he paid the whole thing, or if he just gave them enough to like back them off for a little while to give more time to pay the rest of it off. I don't know that part of the story. I don't know if he paid the whole thing off, or if he paid only a portion of it. But I'll tell you one thing, that right there is enough to indicate that this company is going downhill. And especially to the point just to freaking make up a freaking reason to force me to repair their trailer for equipment malfunction. And it was equipment malfunction. Some people that I spoke to said, like one of the guys at the dispatch, which is a good guy. He says that I'm taking your word for it, but it looks like it was driver negligence, and it wasn't. I'll give you a small little thing of it. How is it a driver error that I took the truck and the trailer into the TA shop? Now, mind you, I drove, I think, 80 miles from where I dropped off the load, 80 miles to the TA in Wellington, Connecticut. No air problems, none of that. The only thing I was going to the TA was because I was having my dash go haywire concerning the ABS system. So I had to go to the TA to get that fixed. Now, when the TA called me in to get the trailer fixed, I pulled in, and they found out there was a lot of lines underneath the trailer, all corroded. So they had to replace all those lines. And mind you, he said that it looked like it was worked on not too long ago, but it wasn't done right. I'm not sure who did the job. I'm not sure if it was Paul Miller Technicians or if it was another repair shop. I don't know. But he fixed it. Now, he did all the tests first to find out where the problem was, because he didn't know where was the problem, because it wasn't my truck. He found out that it wasn't my truck, because once we pulled in, for some reason, all the ABS lights cleared out, except for the ABS trailer light kicked in finally. So he took all the wires off, all the lines on and off, to test the system to find out what was causing the ABS system warning light. Then finally he fixed it all. He put everything all back together again. And now in this point here, I don't know if anyone knows about Wilmington, Connecticut. Supposedly you go in one way, you come out the other side. But the bay that they had me come in, the exit bay door was broken. It wasn't working, so I had to back out. So I started backing all the way out, and when I started turning to the right to get out of the parking area for the TA shop, the air started to hiss on my dash like an air leak. When you have an air leak, the dash starts giving you the sound of a leak. And then I looked on my mirror, and I see the red glad hand connected to the trailer on the mirror, but the hose that was connected to that glad hand missing. And then after that, I heard a bang behind the truck. I stopped completely, and I pulled all the air. Now, why was the truck still moving with the red airline disconnected? I don't know. I'm not sure why that. How could that? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, everybody. If there's no air with the red line, the trailer's supposed to lock up. I'm not sure. Maybe there was a delay. Maybe the air in the trailer wasn't completely out yet. I don't know. But as soon as I saw that, I pulled. Well, actually, no. Correction. As soon as I heard the bang is when I stopped the truck, and I pulled the air valves. Then I got out, and the bang that I heard behind the truck was the lines being pulled off the trailer, the electrical line and the blue line, because the red air line was already off before that bang went off. So when I looked, all the lines were wrapped around my front drive axle between the two wheels, wrapped inside the rim. So how my assumption was this: somehow the red line broke the inside, because it's like you have the glad hand that connects to the trailer, and then you have the nut piece that connects to the airline. Had a plastic molding. It was approximately about that long, plastic molding, and it looks like to me somehow the line disconnected inside there, which you can't see unless you take the molding apart. So even if you did a pre-trip and you looked at, you checked in it, you hold it, you're not going to know that the line inside is either loosening or breaking or what, because they have that molding is approximately, I think it was about that long. And that's how I think when I started to make the turn, the drive wheel was more visible and more apparent where the line would drop, and somehow it got caught. And I looked at the rims inside, and it has all markings, like shavings and stuff, like, you know, a metal something metal grabbed onto it and scuffed it. So again, so my assumption is that the line came off the red glad hand, dangled enough that once I started making the turn, grabbed onto the inner side of the wheel, and when the wheel was turning, started pulling all the rest of the lines. Because it can't be negligence on my side, because I drove almost 80 miles to the TA and the airlines were connected. If I didn't connect it right, it would have came off long before. That's 80 something miles. Now, I talked to the technician, and the technician said, I don't understand what happened. He said, this is what I connected all these lines, and I made sure they were connected. And this is getting long, and I apologize for this. If you guys watched all this, I appreciate it. So that is that. Now, it's already happened. It's already done and over with. I really don't care anymore. It's done. I bought new 3-ways, and I refused to repair the trailer because I still believe that it was a equipment malfunction, and I shouldn't be charged or blamed for equipment violation. Equipment malfunction. And on top of that, these trailers are theirs. It's not ours. It's not mine. And how much is going to be repairing that? I think it was like $350. You're going to come after me? You're going to force me to pay for a repair that's $350? You could write that off. You're a company. You could write it off. I don't understand that. It's their word against mine. So you might as well just come in the middle and say, listen, forget it. We'll fix it, because you guys could write it off. I can't write that off because that's not my equipment. As I understand it, even if I paid for it, I can't write it off because that's not my equipment. I don't own that trailer. So the IRS is going to ask me. This is only an assumption. I can't say that it's real because I'm not a tax person or anything like that. But I'm assuming that the IRS could come to me and say, listen, you own that trailer? No. Then you can't write it off because you don't own the trailer. But I might be wrong. But anyways, so that's done. I'm not going to bother with that no more. Now, the update with my company that I'm going to be working with, I'll give a separate video on this, but they're offering me 85% of the gross, which is, 85%. 85% of the gross, and they guarantee that they will be able to give me the amount that I need. As a matter of fact, more. Of course, I have to be willing to get the work done. So, but that's good news, and hopefully I'll be able to get started either this week or next Monday, the next following Monday. So, wish me luck on that, guys. Hopefully I can get this started soon, because money's flying out the door, and I'm not making any. So, I gotta provide for my family. So, wish me luck, and God bless you all, guys. Keep it sunny side up, rubber side down, and strive for success.